So I was rushing to make it in there and I got cut off, but I had just two more words to go. But then again, if I hadn't been rushed, I might have taken my time. So I'm just going to finish. So what I was saying is that a thing's location is a physical property. And this is a sense in which even if vacuum had nothing in it, back when it looked like vacuum didn't have anything in it sometimes, before we found that there's this weird property that in quantum mechanics where no matter the size of the volume you choose, there's going to be some energy in it. I think that's what it says, something like this. So that the universe is just bubbling with at least kind of a static noise of energy, and it is like a random, noisy pattern, and so it ends up being everywhere given scale issues. Okay. Um, Before that, when vacuum seemed like, hey, maybe it might be empty, or what we call now, the idealized vacuum, uh, the question arises, is that a material thing? Yes, it is a material thing. It turns out, now quantum theory helps this issue, but just fields in general. Space is a material thing. It matters not just that a gravitational field is a particular number, it's where it is. And the reason I say that is because in physics you don't get away with using a bunch of scalars like speeds. Everything's a vector, right? A three-dimensional vector, and then in relativity, these four-dimensional vectors. Everything is a vector because space is fundamental to it, and so materiality, space is one of the properties. And that's the weird thing, that it might not quite be the kind of property we think, because of entangled objects and stuff, where space has has a weird, this everything being in one location in some sense kind of quality. That's how come that's possible. Um, I think there might be exceptions to space being distributed. However, whatever it is, however, when it's distributed and when it's not, space is a property of things. And then the point that was cut off was that now, especially in arrangements, so for example, in the diamond and the coal, both being carbon, or in the quarks forming hydrogen and um, oxygen, and then hydrogen and oxygen forming water. Those are all arrangement issues, and the arrangement is important. But the reason, my point about it being space being material, is because that's why arrangements are material. People want to say the arrangement is an idea. It's not material. It's part of these metaphysics. The arrangement, the waterness, that it's arranged as water is an idea. Since, you know, it's obviously its properties have changed. Well, its properties have changed. Its material properties change, and you say, but nothing material has happened to it. Well, yeah, it was all rearranged, and its little bits of matter were torn apart and rearranged in another form. I mean, if that happened to you, you'd think something happened to you, right? A rearrangement of something is a physical action on that thing, obviously, because that's the only kind of actions there are in the whole universe, is rearrangements, conservation of matter and energy and so forth. The only kind of change there is rearrangement. So I think that we're going to have to count some rearrangement, as physical change, right? Or no change is physical, right? If you blow up a shed with dynamite, that's not physical, because it's just the rearrangement. It's just mental. So no, and in fact, all physical rearrangements are material. That's a material property of a physical object. Okay, so that's not metaphysics either. Now I'm done. How much? Oh, 4 more minutes.